Alright, good afternoon everyone. It's been a while, but here we are. We are doing an afternoon break 425. It is a 26 League Heroes combo break featuring the 26 League Heroes sealed case, 2 26 League Heroes hobby boxes, and 5 26 League Heroes starter packs. Our team list for today: Broncos, Johnny D; Raiders, Johnny D; Bulldogs, Kyle Hunt; Sharks, Johnny D; Dolphins, Dan Mullins; Titans, Rod Staples; Manly, Stephen Casey; Storm, Paul Cohen; Knights, Cole Burrows; Cowboys, Stephen Casey; Eels, Craig Hyde; Panthers, Matt Mcburney; Rabbitohs, John Turner; Dragons, Johnny D; Roosters, Harlie J. Archer; Warriors, Johnny D; Tigers, Harry Reckless. Alright, let's flick over. There we are. And here we are. G'day to those that are already watching. Good luck if you're in the break. Let's get into the starter packs. As you can see, we've got our hobby boxes and our retail case. So we were going to do this one tomorrow morning, as we're a bit flat out today, but with the other breaks selling out so quick, we didn't want to get too far behind, and we made some time to get them done. And on that note, guys, I'm trying to get this team raz, double team raz with the bonus blaster box for break 424. But the winner gets Titans and Dragons along with the blaster box. Still plenty of spots left in that one in the Facebook group. I know already most of you have, but don't forget to get your tips in and your pick the score entry in for this round. Alright, that's all the starter packs open. Let's get these packs done. Alright. Braden Trindle for the Sharks. Trell Mitchell for the Rabbitohs. Stefano Utskamanu for Storm. 2 to go. Dream Buller for the Tigers. And Robert Toya for the Roosters to finish us off. Let's just get rid of these scissors. Game Breakers, Jermaine Hopgood for the Eels. Luminous Jacob Preston for Bulldogs. League Heads, Jermaine Isako for Dolphins. Luminous Jeremiah Nanai for the Cowboys. So if you haven't seen, guys, we listed a Pick Your Team hobby case break last night, break 426. It's already sold out. We listed break 427, another 26 League Heroes hobby case break. God, that's a long sentence. Traders and Elite, they're nice and simple and short. Yeah, and both of them breaks have the bonus hobby box. So we've only 6 spots left in break 427, guys. Go and check it out. League heads for Storm. And Gohamat Shabarsky Luminous for the Broncos. Game Breakers Jack Bostock for the Dolphins. Luminous Cody Walker for the Rabbitohs. I am hoping to do break 424 in the morning, guys, just because everyone's been waiting for a while for that one. So if the Raz is done for that, we will do that tomorrow. If not, break 425 is already sold out, so we'll definitely get that one done if not. League heads, Tom Dearden for the Cowboys. Luminous Brighton Nakora for the Sharks. Bang Clinton Gufferson for the Dragons. Luminous Keezy Apps for the Tigers. League heads Big Tino for the Titans. Luminous Lycan King Togia for the Dragons. A Bang Gohamat Shabarsky for Broncos. Luminous Isaac Tago for Panthers. Mercury Jerome Hughes for Storm number 268. Luminous Kalen Ponga for the Knights. League heads Jason Saab for Manly. Luminous Jamie Chapman for the Titans. Game Breakers John Bateman for the Cowboys. Luminous Jerome Luai for the Tigers. We've got 4 packets left out of the starter pack. Red Triumph Dream Buller for the Tigers. Luminous Matt Burton for the Bulldogs. Bang Damien Cook for the Dragons. Luminous Leka Halasima for the Warriors. League heads Alifiana Khan Kiera for Titans. And Luminous Hammer Fido for the Dolphins. Alright, lucky last for the starter packs, guys. And we've got another league heads, Cody Nikarima for the Dolphins. And Hudson Young for the Raiders in the Luminous. Push these ones out of our way, as well as the hobby boxes, and let's get these out ready to go. Pardon? What do you mean? Oh, I am a bit. I've opened the window on that already. But I don't know how everyone else is, so I wasn't playing. Yes, but Sorry guys, just shutting the window. So I can get the aircon going. I'm already sitting here sweating. Almost all out. Alright guys, that is them. 12 boxes. Let's see how we go. So either way guys, check back in 10 AM tomorrow morning. We will be breaking Red Triumph for Storm. Luminous Chance Nicole Clockstad for the Warriors. And if break 427 is sold out shortly, I dare say we'll probably see break 428 turn into another hobby case. So make sure you got that in your wish list either way. Jerome Luai for the Tigers. That way you can get a notification no matter what it is once it goes into stock. Ethan Sanders, Luminous for the Raiders. Excuse me. League heads Jeremiah Nanai for the Cowboys. Luminous William Kennedy for Sharks. Game breakers Cameron McInnes for the Sharks. Luminous Saitili Tupanua for the Bulldogs. Colour die cut Jake Averillo for the Dolphins. Luminous Sean Russell for the Eels. League heads Max King for the Bulldogs. Luminous Azali Hopkins for the Dragons. Game breakers Fletcher Sharp for the Knights. Luminous Kurt Mann for the Bulldogs. Bang Latrell Mitchell for the Rabbitohs. G'day mate, how's it going? Luminous Jermaine McEwen for the Knights. Red Triumph Tommy Turbo for Manly. Luminous James Tedesco for the Roosters. League heads Molly Olika R2 for Manly. Luminous Max Plath for the Dolphins. Busy and hot at the moment, but no, we're good. Game Breakers, Val Holmes for the Dragons. Thank you for asking. Luminous, Cameron Murray for the Rabbitohs. League Heads, James Tedesco for the Roosters. Luminous, Regan Campbell-Gillard for the Titans. Predictor. My team list. Luminous, Ben Trebojevic for Manly. We just got our first predictor hit. We hit a Mercury in amongst the starter packs. Colour die cut, Mitchell Barnett for the Warriors. Luminous, Milwaukee Fodawaika for the Titans. Brian Kelly, bang for the Titans. Luminous, Ali Bringenshaw for the Broncos. League Heads, Will Penasini for the Eels. We do it all at the end. I'll go through the predictors. So you'll see me load up. I'm not sure how well where we're up to with the camera. I think this one might have just missed it. There we go. We'll push it over here. I know that works. So at the end, when we're finished, it's the last thing we do. We go through all our bigger numbered hits. We'll show our gladiators and our Mercuries and things like that. Jermaine Isako, Luminous for the Dolphins. And in case you weren't aware, after the break, we might not get them all done tonight. But when we do the morning breaks, we didn't get it done the last one either. But we do team pictures. I'll take all the cards out of the slot and I'll sort them into their piles. Any numbered hits would get put by themselves. And then once we do the big team photo, I then take a picture of all the numbers for each team. So yeah, you can always check them out on Facebook. Game Breakers, Jamie Humphries for the Rabbitohs. Do you guys know when you'll get the hobby box back in stock? We have them available. They're in stock, only in combos. When will you be doing break 426? 426, I'm hoping, I don't know if we're breaking on Sunday. Well, if it's not on Sunday, it will be tomorrow. I do want to get break 424 done, but we're just waiting on the RAS. But break 426 is already sold out, so if it's not on Sunday, it will be tomorrow morning. Luminous, Jerome Hughes for the Storm, because everyone that brought their spots in the break, they've been waiting a while to get it done, so I want to do the right thing by them as well. So that's why I'm sort of reserving tomorrow morning. If we can get the RAS done, we'll be doing that break tomorrow. If not, it will be break 426. Game Breakers, Shaley Bent for the Titans. Luminous, Mitchell Barnett for the Warriors. Sunday's Easter Sunday, isn't it? So yeah, I won't be down here. Yeah, that's... Blake Heads, Joseph Tarpanay for the Raiders. Leave it with us, Lee. We'll get it in. Casey McLean, Luminous for Panthers. Busy times around here at the moment, Lee. We're doing renovations, helping my auntie move. She's single, so she's only got us to rely on to help do that, help set her up with things. League heads, Kalen Ponga for Knights. Luminous, Sanua Taruva for Tigers. That was this morning's thing. But yeah, and the renovations, everything's everywhere here at the moment. Bang Lehe Hopewate for Manly. And I don't think my 3 kids are going to want to get out of their pyjamas and not have chocolate before we leave home on Sunday. Will Penasini for the Eels. Because my lucky partner, she's also working all 4 days, along with my stepson. But they work in food and bev, so that's Game Breakers, Mitchell Moses. Luminous, Jonah Pezzett for the Storm. They both work for theme parks up here, but 2 separate. One works for Village, preparing food for all the Village theme parks and places up here, and my partner works at Dreamworld. Matthew Tomoko, Luminous for the Raiders. And they both got stuff working. Gladiators, Jordan Ricky for the Broncos, number 562. Oh no. Luminous, Luke Metcalf for the Warriors. League heads, Adam Reynolds for the Broncos. Luminous, Sarah Togatuki for the Tigers. Game Breakers, Latrell Mitchell for the Rabbitohs. Luminous, Connolly Lumilu for Dolphins. Bang, Tamale for the Raiders. Luminous, Samuel Stone Street for the Sharks. League heads, Brian Kelly for Titans. Luminous, Tanila Paseka for Manly. Mercury, Moses Sulai for the Dragons, number 22. Luminous, Sam Walker for the Roosters. Game Breakers, Joseph Tarpanay for the Raiders. Luminous, John Bateman for the Cowboys. Colour die cut, Corey Horsburgh for the Raiders. Luminous, Jamin Salmon for the Bulldogs. Bang, Bailey Haywood for Bulldogs. Luminous, Jackson Purdue for the Cowboys. Excuse me. League heads, Luke Metcalf for the Warriors. Luminous, Blaze Talagi for Panthers. Game breakers, Lindsay Smith for Panthers. Luminous, Tom Starling for the Raiders. Colour die cut, Nathan Cleary for Panthers. Luminous, Tamika Upton for the Broncos. Lucky last for our first box. League heads, Cameron McInnes for Sharks. Luminous, Jesse Aramian for the Sharks. Box number 1 done and dusted. Game breakers, Loco Pacifici Tonga for Dragons. Luminous, Felice Kafusi for Dolphins. Colour die cut, Hammer for the Dolphins. Luminous, Ethan Strange for the Raiders. League heads, Bailey Haywood for the Bulldogs. Luminous, Lachlan Ilias for the Dragons. Game breakers, Jerome Hughes for Storm. Luminous, Billy Smith for Roosters. League heads, Morgan Smithies for the Raiders. Luminous, Max King for the Bulldogs. Game breakers, Cooley Kefu for the Dolphins. Luminous, Lyson Albert Jones for the Warriors. Bang Kale Iro for the Sharks. Luminous, Reece Walsh for the Broncos. League heads, Mitch Kenny for the Panthers. Luminous, Tolator Koala for Manly. Red Triumph, Asaya Yongi for the Eels. Luminous, Dylan Edwards for Panthers. Pulled his jersey number 1 yesterday in the gold backs from the hobby box. Game breakers, Mahalia Murphy for the Eels. Payne Haas, Luminous for Broncos, and that wasn't yesterday, it was the day before. We got the pictures done, finished yesterday. They just all roll into one around here. Just another day. League heads, James Fisher-Harris for the Warriors. Luminous, Sebastian Chris for the Raiders. League heads, Dylan Edwards for Panthers. Luminous, Abby Church for Eels. Colour die cut, Alex 12 for the Tigers. Luminous, Spencer Lenu for the Roosters. Game breakers, Liam Martin for the Panthers. Luminous, Zaya Yo for Panthers. Red Triumph, Brisbane Broncos. Luminous, Dylan Brown for the Knights. League heads, Tom Gilbert for the Dolphins. Luminous, Clinton Gutherson for the Dragons. Bang, Chanel Harris Tavita for the Warriors. Luminous, Ben Hunt for the Broncos. League heads, Phoenix Crossland for the Knights. Luminous, Sire Yongi for the Eels. Isaiah Yo for Panthers. Luminous, Phoenix Crossland for the Knights. Bang, Jai Gray for the Rabbitohs. Luminous, Angus Crichton for the Roosters. League heads, Ben Hunt for the Broncos. Luminous, Jaden Campbell for the Titans. Game breakers, Alifiana Khan Piera for Titans. Luminous, Taylor Preston for the Bulldogs. League heads, Campbell Graham for the Rabbitohs. Luminous, Ethan Bullymore for Manly. Colour die cut, Hudson Young for the Raiders. Luminous, Jesse Colquhoun for the Sharks. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Game breakers, Tyson Frizzell for the Knights. Luminous, Kurt Catewell for the Warriors. Bang, Dylan Edwards for Panthers. Luminous, Campbell Graham for Rabbitohs. League heads, Sebastian Chris for the Raiders. Luminous, Ruben Cotter for Cowboys. Mercury, Dylan Walker for the Eels. Number 233. Luminous Dream Buller for the Tigers. Game Breakers, Tanila Paseka for Manly. Luminous Xavier Coates for Storm. League heads, Xavier Coates for Storm. Luminous Herbie Farmworth for Dolphins. Bang Stephen Crichton for the Bulldogs. Luminous Dylan Egan for the Dragons. Game Breakers, Tom Dearden for the Cowboys. Luminous Braden Trindle for the Sharks. Gladiators, Jaden Campbell for the Titans, number 459. Luminous Sam Verrills for the Titans. League heads, Nico Hines for the Sharks. Luminous Bradman Best for the Knights. 2 packets to go for box number 2. Bang Apisai Coruscant for the Tigers. Luminous Junior Paulo for the Eels. Oh, you just noticed that big ding in the box. I think I'll do that one next. And instant win. Luminous Jack Whiten for the Rabbitohs. Alright. Get this one done. Alright. League heads, Keanu Kinney for the Titans. Luminous Dylan Edwards for Panthers. Bang Jason Saab for Manly. Luminous Payne Haas Broncos. Game Breakers, Jack Whiten for the Rabbitohs. Luminous Sebastian Chris for the Raiders. Game Breakers Keezy Apps for the Tigers. Luminous Dylan Egan for the Dragons. Mercury Sam Verrills for the Titans. 359. Luminous Abby Church for the Eels. League Heads Jake Trebojevic for Manly. Luminous Phoenix Crossland for the Knights. Colour die cut Jermaine Hopgood for the Eels. Luminous Angus Crichton for the Roosters. League Heads Ray Stone for the Dolphins. Luminous Jaden Campbell for the Titans. Red Triumph Jerome Luai for the Tigers. Luminous Taylor Preston for the Bulldogs. Any of the NRL cards worth any? Plenty. Check out the website. We go all the way back to 1963 with single cards on the website. So pretty much, if you're looking for it, there's a good chance you're going to find it. League Heads Cody Walker for the Rabbitohs. Luminous Ethan Bullimore for Manly. Plenty of high-end signatures, 1/1 patches. It just depends on what you're talking about, Chris. Early stuff, later stuff, current stuff. Game Breakers Jacob Carraz for the Bulldogs. Luminous Jesse Colquhoun for the Sharks. Yeah, the older ones, but what about the newer ones? Aussie Manly fan. I did the Wanda, just not sure if worth getting into these chase cards. Well, there's some autos in the hobby boxes. We're not sure what the Golden Treasures will bring back. Yeah, you got to have a look. There's the checklist available on the website to have a look at as well. If you have a look at the website, it should answer pretty much all the questions for you. But if you have something specific, then yes, please go ahead. Jake wasn't sure if there was actually any cards. No, look, I mean, they've just released a sticker and booklet set. I don't think they're going to be worth much as a set, but looking at the book itself, it looks pretty cool. Like, they've put some effort into it. So yeah, I don't know. It just depends on what you want to do. Jacob Carraz for the Bulldogs. Kirk Capewell, Luminous for the Warriors. League Heads Jackson Purdue for the Cowboys. Luminous Campbell Graham for the Rabbitohs. Bang Greg Marzhew for the Knights. Luminous Spencer Lenu for the Roosters. League Heads Brighton Nakora for the Sharks. Luminous Asaya Yo for Panthers. Game Breakers Isaiah Yo for Panthers. Luminous Dylan Brown for the Knights. League Heads Sam Walker for the Roosters. Luminous Clinton Gutherson for the Dragons. Game Breakers Damien Cook for the Dragons. Luminous Isabel Kelly for the Roosters. Colour die cut Blake Brayley for the Sharks. Luminous Ben Hunt for the Broncos. Game Breakers Jason Tormalolo for the Cowboys. Luminous Asaya Yongi for the Eels. League Heads Reese Welsh for the Broncos. Luminous Jack Whiten for the Rabbitohs. Colour die cut Matt Burton for the Bulldogs. Luminous Ruben Cotter for Cowboys. League Heads Dylan Walker for the Eels. Luminous Dream Buller for the Tigers. Bang Jackson Purdue for the Cowboys. Luminous Xavier Coates for Storm. Bang Gehamat Shabarsky for Broncos. Luminous Matt Burton for the Bulldogs. Game Breakers Junior Paulo for the Eels. Luminous Jamie Chapman for Titans. Red Triumph for the Roosters. Luminous Jerome Luai for the Tigers. League Heads Chans Nico Klokstad for the Warriors. Luminous Hudson Young for the Raiders. Game Breakers Mitchell Barnett for the Warriors. Luminous Lakahalasima for the Warriors. Colour die cut AJ Brisbane for the Titans. Luminous Hammer Tabo Fido for the Dolphins. League Heads Cameron Munster for Storm. Luminous Cohen Hess for Cowboys. Gladiators Jermaine Isako for the Dolphins. Number 69. That's where the 15-year-old boy inside of me starts giggling. Herbie Farnworth for the Dolphins. Game Breakers Brian Kelly for the Titans. Luminous Nico Hines for the Sharks. Bang Ronaldo Mulatalo for the Sharks. Luminous Lehe Hopobate for Manly. League Heads Jacob Saifiti for the Knights. Luminous Morgan Smithies for Raiders. Alright, last pack for our third box. And we have a Golden Triumph. So we'll put that on the table for last. Dean Mariner in the Luminous for Broncos. And with the box being the way it was, we will just do that. Alright, box number 4. Alright. Not too bad. We picked up our 3 case hits in our first 3 boxes. So we're on a roll. Hopefully that means that we're going to have some bigger hits in the end. They're all going to be chockers. Let's, fingers crossed. Gladiators Isaiah Yo, number 56. Luminous Stephen Crichton for the Bulldogs. League Heads William Kennedy for Sharks. Luminous Philip Semi for the Titans. Game Breakers Tamika Upton for the Broncos. Luminous Patrick Kerrigan for the Broncos. League Heads Dylan Lucas for the Knights. Luminous Dane Gagai for the Knights. Game Breakers Cody Walker for the Rabbitohs. Luminous Connor Watson for the Roosters. Colour die cut Moses Sulai for the Dragons. Luminous Moses Sulai for the Dragons. Game Breakers Luke Metcalf for the Warriors. Luminous Dylan Walker for the Eels. League Heads Big Tino for Titans. Luminous Alex Twile for the Tigers. Mercury Stefano Utkamanu for the Storm, number 393. Luminous Tyron Wishart for the Storm. Red Triumph for the Bulldogs. Luminous Kira Dib for the Cowboys. League Heads Mitchell Moses for the Eels. Luminous Zahara Tamara for the Raiders. Bang Jerome Hughes for Storm. Luminous Brian To'o for Panthers. League Heads Adam Dewey for the Tigers. Luminous Luke Law Lilly for the Tigers. Colour die cut Xavier Willison for the Broncos. Luminous Murray Talagi for Cowboys. Bang Zach Labut for Cowboys. Luminous Chanel Harris Tavita for Warriors. Game Breakers Apasai Coruscant for the Tigers. Luminous Blake Brayley for Sharks. League Heads Spencer Alenu for the Roosters. Luminous Tui Kamikamika for Storm. League Heads Jermaine Isako for Dolphins. Luminous Terrell May for Tigers. Bang Dylan Lucas for Knights. Luminous Jack Williams for the Eels. Colour die cut Dallin Witeen Zalesniak for the Warriors. Luminous Stefano Utkamanu for Storm. League heads, Tom Dearden for the Cowboys. Luminous KO Weeks for the Raiders. Game Breakers, Bradman Best for the Knights. Luminous Beau Fermor for the Titans. Bang Adam Reynolds for the Broncos. Luminous Jason Tormalolo for the Cowboys. Game Breakers, Hugo Savala for the Roosters. Luminous Jake Trbojevic for Manly. Colour die cut, Jack Whiten for the Rabbitohs. Luminous Sean Kepi for the Rabbitohs. League heads, Ruben Garrick for Manly. Tegan Berry, Luminous for the Dragons. Game Breakers, KO Weeks for the Raiders. Luminous White for the Roosters. Bang William Kennedy for the Sharks. Luminous Jack Bostock for Dolphins. League heads, Val Holmes for the Dragons. Luminous Lindsay Smith for Panthers. Red Triumph, Sebastian Chris for the Raiders. Luminous Fletcher Sharp for Knights. Alex Johnson, League heads for the Rabbitohs. Luminous Xavier Willison for the Broncos. Game Breakers, Leho Hopewate for Manly. Luminous Tommy Turbo for Manly. Colour die cut, Fletcher Sharp for the Knights. Luminous Latrell Mitchell for the Rabbitohs. 3 packets left. League heads for Storm. And Connor Tracy, Luminous for Bulldogs. Bang Casey McLean for Panthers. Luminous Roger Tuivasa Sheck for the Warriors. Lucky last. Game Breakers, Tiana Penatani Gray for the Sharks. Luminous Tiana Penatani Gray for the Sharks. Get the box of cards cleaned up. Alright. Box number 5. League heads, Alex 12 for the Tigers. Luminous Jalen de Groot for Titans. Gladiators, Stephen Crichton for the Bulldogs, number 562. Luminous Corey Horsburgh for the Raiders. Emily Bass, Game Breakers for the Tigers. Cassie Hiku, Luminous for the Eels. Bang, Marky Mark for Roosters. Luminous Marky Mark for the Roosters. League heads, Angus Jack Whiten. Don't know how I do Crichton, Whiten. Luminous Tom Gilbert for the Dolphins. Colour die cut, Ryan Pappenhausen for the Storm. Luminous Wade Egan for the Warriors. Game Breakers, Ruben Garrick for Manly. Luminous Latu Finu for Tigers. Red Triumph, Pappenhausen for Storm. Ezra Mam, Luminous for the Broncos. League heads, Braden Nakora Trindle for the Sharks. Luminous Tommy Dearden for the Cowboys. Bang Bradman Best for the Knights. Luminous Jai Arrow for the Rabbitohs. Game Breakers, Alex Johnston for the Rabbitohs. Luminous Keanu Kinney for the Titans. Colour die cut, Reece Welsh for Broncos. Luminous Kyle Flanagan for the Dragons. League heads, Stefano Uzikamanu for Storm. Luminous Angelina for the Bulldogs. Bang AJ Brimson for the Titans. Luminous Zach Lomax for the Eels. Triumph Big Tino for Titans. Luminous Ruben Garrick for Manly. Connor Watson in league heads. Luminous Mitch Kenny for Panthers. Game Breakers, Payne Haas for the Broncos. Is there a golden treasure in any of those three piles? Negative. Luminous Adam Fanua Blake for Sharks. Instant win, a gold triumph, and a Dally M, I believe it was. League heads, Kurt Mann for the Bulldogs. Luminous Bailey Haywood for the Bulldogs. Bang Tommy Dearden for the Cowboys. Luminous Tyson Frizzell for the Knights. Game Breakers, Kurt Catewell for the Warriors. Luminous Nathan Cleary for Panthers. League heads, Chans Nicole Clockstad for the Warriors. Luminous Trent LaRoe for Storm. Colour die cut, Connor Tracy for the Bulldogs. Luminous Jamal Fogarty for Manly. League heads, Ryan Pappenhausen for Storm. Luminous AJ Brimson for the Titans. Game breakers, Clinton Gutherson for the Dragons. Luminous Murata Nakor for the Warriors. Daily M Predictor. Luminous Jermaine Hopgood for the Eels. League head Cody Nicarima for the Dolphins. Lunas Moses Leota for Panthers. Colour die cut Brendan Smith for the Rabbitohs. Jamie Humphries, Luminous for Panthers. Rabbitohs. I'm having a shock at this box. League heads Hudson Young for the Raiders. Luminous Billy Walters for the Broncos. Game breakers Nathan Cleary for Panthers. Luminous Joseph Tarpanay for Raiders. This is our 7th last packet for the box. Bang Ezra Mann for Broncos. Luminous Greg Marsu for the Knights. League heads Xavier Willison for the Broncos. Kuli Kefu for the Titans. Dolphins. Oh God. I need a quick drink, I think. I've got a few more packs. 5 packets left in this box. I'm going to grab a quick drink. Get some sugar into me. Game breakers Jesse Colhoun for the Sharks. Luminous Daniel Tupou for the Roosters. Even when I'm reading them, my mouth's saying something else. Mercury Murata Nakor for the Warriors, number 450. In my defense, I am trying to race through them and get them out as quick as possible. Happy Nichols, Luminous for the Warriors. Because we do need to get the pictures done, as many as I can before I leave, so I don't have too many to do in the morning. League heads Sam Verrills for the Titans. Luminous Carl Lawton for the Cowboys. It actually takes a surprising amount of time to get all the pictures done, guys. At least an hour and a half, I'd say, to sort them all out and take them. Dream Buller Bang for the Tigers. Luminous Fanua Pole for the Tigers. And lucky last packet for the box. Game breakers Kira Dib for the Cowboys. Luminous Cameron McInnes for Sharks. Alright, quickly put these ones away, and I'm just going to duck over there and grab a can of Coke, guys. Just bear with me for a couple of moments. Alright guys, let's get back into it. Box number 6. Often never. Mercury, Tanila Paseka for Manly, 331. Luminous Alefiana Khan Piera for Titans. Game Breakers, Jerome Luai for Tigers. Luminous Addo Carr for Eels. League Heads, Mitchell Barnett for the Warriors. Luminous. Oh, sorry guys. Luminous Karen Murray for the Rabbitohs. Colour die cut Tonga for the Dragons. Luminous Regan Campbell Gillard for the Titans. League Heads, Damien Cook for the Dragons. Luminous Jackson Purdue for Cowboys. Game Breakers, Blaze Talagi for Panthers. Luminous Blaze Talagi for Panthers. Bang Leka Halasima for the Warriors. Luminous Tom Starling for the Raiders. League Heads, Herbie Farmer for the Dolphins. Luminous Tamika Upton for the Broncos. And another Dally M. Luminous Jesse Ramian for the Sharks. League Heads, Jai Arrow for the Rabbitohs. Luminous Mitchell Barnett for the Warriors. Red Triumph, Luke Metcalf for the Warriors. Luminous Ben Trebojevic for Manly. League Heads, Dream Buller for Tigers. Lindsay Collins, Luminous for the Roosters. Colour die cut James Schiller for the Knights. Luminous Mawaki Fodawaika for Titans. Bang Phoenix Crossland for the Knights. Luminous Ali Briginshaw for the Broncos. League heads, Nathan Cleary for Panthers. Luminous, Jermaine Isako for Dolphins. Game breakers, Campbell Graham for the Rabbitohs. Luminous, Jerome Hughes for Storm. Colour die cut, Riley Smith for the Eels. Luminous, Casey McLean for Panthers. League heads, Lindsay Collins for the Roosters. Luminous, Chance Nico Klokstad for the Warriors. Game breakers, Jaden Campbell for the Titans. Luminous, Ethan Sanders for the Raiders. Bang, Jaden Campbell for the Titans. Luminous, William Kennedy for the Sharks. League heads, Stephen Crichton for the Bulldogs. Luminous, Saitili Tupanua for the Bulldogs. Triumph, Jacob Saifiti for the Knights. Luminous, Sean Russell for the Eels. Game breakers, Dylan Egan for the Dragons. Luminous, Zali Hopkins for the Dragons. League heads, Luke Brooks for Manly. Luminous, Kurt Mann for the Bulldogs. Game breakers, Samaima Torfa for the Raiders. Luminous, Jermaine McEwen for the Knights. Bang, Dean Mariner for the Broncos. Luminous, James Tedesco for the Roosters. Game breakers, Bailey Simonson for the Eels. Luminous, Max Plath for the Dolphins. League heads, John Bateman for the Cowboys. Luminous, Robert Toya for the Roosters. Bang, Scott Drinkwater for the Cowboys. Luminous, Samaima Torfa for the Raiders. Game breakers, Reece Walsh for the Broncos. Luminous Tamir Martin for the Warriors. League heads Jermaine Hopgood for the Eels. Luminous Jai Gray for the Rabbitohs. Got 5 packets left for our 6th box. Colour die cut Saitili Tupanua for the Bulldogs. Luminous Reed Marnie for the Cowboys. Bang Hugo Savala for Roosters. Luminous Damien Cook for the Dragons. League heads AJ Brimson for the Titans. Luminous Adam Dewey for the Tigers. Game breakers Jeremiah Nanai for the Cowboys. Luminous Dominic Young for Knights. And to finish us off for the box, Ezra Mam Gladiators for Broncos, number 79. Molly Olaka'atu for Manly in Luminous. And that's the end of box number 6. All right, halfway through the case, let's get into box number 7. How much did all of these cost? We don't have the exact same thing available on the website, but the best things to do is go have a look on the website. You can have a look how much each break spot costs. You can have a look how much the individual stuff costs. We have the hobby boxes in combos. Yeah. Best to have a look at exactly what you're looking for, because that question varies a lot depending on what it is. Colour die cut Dream Buller for the Tigers. Luminous Cameron Munster for Storm. So remember, we're not just a collector or a breaker, we are a distributor. Well, each pack retails for $4. I'm pretty sure it is. We don't sell individual packs. Each box is $140. Retail, we do the combos for $4.10, which has the hobby box and the retail box. But that includes, yeah, you got to read the website depending on what you get and how you get it. So yeah, as I was saying, we are a distributor. We've been doing it for 16 years now, I think it is. We go all the way back to 1963, and we try and service all collectors. Not all collectors like breaks, not all collectors like buying singles, or vice versa, same with the sealed product. Some people like to just come along and buy a base set and an album together, and that's them done. It just varies so much, and we do try and cater for just about everyone. League heads Liam Martin for Panthers. Luminous Brian Kelly for the Titans. You'd expect, you don't quite get a full base set, which is all 17 teams plus the 12 NRLW teams in a box. I think he's short. I can't even remember what it is now. But we are constantly getting orders for everyone's missing few cards. You can tell they've brought a box because it's that same amount of base cards. Triumph Jeremiah Nanai for the Cowboys. So if you want to buy a box and album, we have them on the website. Once again, you'd have to go and check how much it is. And then once you've finished opening it and you need those few base cards, then you can come along and finish them off individually. Bailey Simonson, Luminous for the Eels. And of course we have all the hobby singles as well. Excuse me. Game breakers Tamir Martin for the Warriors. Luminous Jesse Southwell for the Knights. League heads Junior Paulo for the Eels. Luminous Luciano Leilua for the Dragons. Bang Cameron Munster for Storm. Luminous Katoni Staggs for the Broncos. Game breakers Patrick Carrigan for the Broncos. Luminous Isaiah Papali'i for Panthers. Bang James Tedesco for the Roosters. Luminous Latu Fainu for the Tigers. Red Triumph for the Sharks. Luminous Jacob Carraz for the Bulldogs. League heads Ethan Strange for the Raiders. Luminous Alex Seafarth for the Tigers. Colour die cut Stefano Utokumanu for Storm. Luminous Keon Kolomatangi for the Rabbitohs. League heads Latrell Mitchell for the Rabbitohs. Luminous Ali Leitua for the Warriors. So keen for Mega Bundle to arrive. Nice. Game Breakers, Ben Drabojevic for Manly. Bet you'll have some fun opening that one. Luminous Jordan Ricky for the Broncos. League Heads, Tom Starling for the Raiders. Luminous Wade Egan for the Warriors. Bang Ali Leitua for the Warriors. Luminous Jessica Surgis for the Roosters. League Heads, Jerome Hughes for Storm. Luminous Mitchell Moses for the Eels. Game Breakers, Alex Seyfarth for the Tigers. Luminous Harry Grant for Storm. What are you saying? You purchased it last weekend, you're waiting for it to arrive? Or you purchased another one last weekend and now you've got another one waiting to arrive? Colour die cut Murray Talagi for the Cowboys. Luminous Ronaldo Molitalo for the Sharks. Well, put it this way, more of our customers have opened the golden treasures than what we have. So you got more of a chance of hitting one, and we are definitely due for one. Alright, I'm pretty sure that's a Dally M rookie predictor. League Heads, Ezra Mam for the Broncos. Yeah, nice. Okay. Marky Mark for the Roosters. Oh, I'm sure you have a blast doing that. Good luck when it does, bud. Mercury Isaiah Yo for Panthers, 193. Luminous Tom Gilbert for the Dolphins. Shouldn't be too far away, and you should already have tracking for it. So if you got that last weekend, it would have went out. I'm assuming we are flat out. You'd have the email, but I'm assuming it probably went out Monday, Tuesday, probably Wednesday, yesterday at the latest. Game Breakers, Olivia Koenig for the Roosters. Luminous Zach Labour for the Cowboys. Yeah, I'd be very surprised if it didn't go out Monday. Gladiators, Ryan Pappenhausen for the Storm. Number 13 out of 599. Nice low one there. Luminous Loco Tonga for the Dragons. Yeah, I know the one. League Heads Cohen Hess for the Cowboys. Luminous Luke Brooks for Manly. Game Breakers Sebastian Chris for Raiders. Yeah, it's in Brizzy. I'm in Mackay. There you go. It's on its way. Isaiah Katoa, Luminous for Dolphins. Hopefully it should rock up Tuesday then, I'd say. But you never know. Game breakers, Jackson Purdue for the Cowboys. Luminous Cassie Hiku for the Eels. Bang Mitchell Moses for the Eels. Luminous Xavier Savage for Raiders. Well, based on that, Ryan, have you entered the Pick Your Team giveaway in the Facebook group? Not pick the team, pick the score. League heads Connolly for the Dolphins. Luminous Georgia Hale for the Titans. Now, I'm not sure what time kickoff was today, guys, but get your tips in if you haven't already. $125 worth of gift cards up for grabs this round. Pick the score giveaway jackpot last week with nobody getting that one. Tommy Turbo colour die cut for Manly. Luminous Josh Kerr for Dragons. Do I have a team? Eels all the way. You're the one outnumbered these days. Bang Val Holmes for the Dragons. Luminous Corey Horsburgh for the Raiders. No big get for price. The pick the score giveaway is free, and so's the tipping comp. They're both free. There's a $50 gift card up every round for that round's top tipper. So doesn't matter where you're coming, when you join, if you win that round, if you get 8 out of 8 in a perfect margin, then you're taking a minimum of a share of the gift card for that round. And the pick the score giveaway, if you pick the score and the winning team, if you pick the correct score for the game, then you get the gift card. If it has gone off, so someone gets it last round, for instance, and it goes back to $50, $50 gift card for the website. But if nobody gets it, it jackpots by $25 for each round. So with nobody getting it last round, it's up to $75 for the pick the score. And yeah, pick the score is only in the Facebook group. And for details on how to join the tipping comp, you can find them in the Facebook group or on the FAQ page. Bang Jermaine Isako for Dolphins. Luminous Ruben Garrick for Manly. Yes, Mum's a Broncos supporter because she's born and bred up here. But me and Dad, born and bred around Parramatta, Marylands. Well, I was more out west. I was out at Hawkesbury, born and bred, and then moved out to Marylands in my teenager years. Okay, thanks. We've got 7 in round 2 and 3, so that's it. Game breakers, Wade Egan for the Warriors. Luminous Mitch Kenny for the Panthers. The easiest way to join to find the information is to go to the FAQ page. It has all the links. You just got to click, especially if you're already a member of NRL.tipping. Dylan Walker for the Eels in the die cut. Luminous Adam Fanua Blake for Sharks. League heads, Valami Kickout for Bulldogs. Luminous, Bailey Haywood for Bulldogs. Game breakers, Jermaine Isako for Dolphins. Luminous, Tyson Frizzell for Knights. League heads, Chanel Harris Tavita for Warriors. Luminous, Jalen DeGroot for Titans. League heads, Jacob Little for the Dragons. Luminous, Jacob Saifiti for the Knights. Alright, we have box number 8 up next. How good would Mitch Moses go through? So do I, because I can tell how pumped you are to try and hit one. So I'd love to hear back to see how you went. Alright, let's go. Box number 8. Game breakers, Mawaki Fodawaika for the Titans. Luminous, Tommy Dearden for the Cowboys. League heads, Mawaki Fodawaika for the Titans. Luminous, Ray Stone for Dolphins. Bang, Jalen DeGroot for Titans. Luminous, Jai Arrow for Rabbitohs. League heads, Greg Marshue for Knights. Luminous, Keanu Kinney for the Titans. Gladiators, Spencer Lenu for the Roosters, number 338. Luminous, Kyle Flanagan for the Dragons. Game breakers, Ryan Pappenhausen for the Storm. Luminous, Angelina for the Bulldogs. League heads, Joash for Eels. Luminous, Zach Lomax for the Eels. Bang, Ethan Strange for the Raiders. Luminous, Samula Fainu for the Tigers. Game breakers, Taylor Preston for the Bulldogs. Luminous, Nathan Cleary for Panthers. Bang Fanua pole for the Tigers. Luminous Jamie Humphries for the Rabbitohs. League heads Samula Finu for Tigers. Luminous Billy Walters for the Broncos. Put Lomax card in. Now come on. Respect all. I hate how much crap Sally Cherry Evans is copying from Manly. He even almost retired because he didn't want to play for another club, but he wasn't ready to retire. Manly couldn't keep him. I feel bad for him, I really do. Colour die cut Bronson Sherry for the Bulldogs. Lomax is a bit different, but yeah. Joseph Tarpanay Luminous for the Raiders. Game Breakers Lomax for the Eels. Luminous Greg Marzu for the Knights. I hope Lomax comes back, to be honest. We'll see what happens. Red Triumph AJ Brimson for the Titans. Luminous Cooley Kefu for the Dolphins. Mercury Xavier Willison for the Broncos. Number 67. Luminous Daniel Tupou for the Roosters. Come on now. Brian, please watch the language. We encourage kids to watch the videos and be involved in this community. At the end of the day, that's where we all joined from. I remember as a kid either being in my parents' shop in the 90s and also going to the card shops with my grandfather to buy boxes of cards to bust with him on the weekends. So at the end of the day, this hobby very much originates with the kids and we like to keep them involved. No hard feelings either, dude. All good. No problem at all. League heads Moses Leota for Panthers. That's all good, brother. It's no problem. Ezra Man Luminous for the Broncos. You weren't being silly, abusing anyone or anything like that, so no big deal. Just, yep. League heads Isaiah Katoa for the Dolphins. Luminous Hugo Savala for the Roosters. Bang Tolator Koala for Manly. Luminous Adam Reynolds for the Broncos. Look how bad that glare's getting. You're going to have to close them blinds. I know it's fixed most of it, but there's still a little line. Hopefully it doesn't annoy us too much. It's one thing we don't get with the morning breaks. We don't get that sun. All good, mate. League heads Scott Drinkwater for the Cowboys. Luminous Emma Veron for the Sharks. League heads, Marky Mark for the Roosters. Luminous Abby Nichols for the Warriors. Game breakers, Phoenix Crossland for the Knights. Luminous Carl Lawton for the Cowboys. Bang Alex Johnston for the Rabbitohs. Luminous Whenua Pole for the Tigers. League heads, Lehe Hopawate for Manly. What's this, the tray you're talking about? It's Ultra Pro tray. Cameron McInnes, Luminous for the Sharks. Game breakers, Lachlan Ilias for the Dragons. Luminous Trent LaRoe for Storm. Game breakers, Connor Tracy for the Bulldogs. Luminous Brendan Smith for the Rabbitohs. So it's funny, my videos only just caught up to me shutting the blinds, and God, that looks heaps better. Triumph, Brendan Smith for the Rabbitohs. You can still see that little line coming through the edge of the blinds, but unfortunately that is what it is. Not for much longer though. Tamale for the Raiders. Will get put out in the garage once that's, or the media room, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, we'll be out there and we'll be a bit quieter and a bit different. Colour die cut, Teague Wilson for the Sharks. Luminous Jamal Fogarty for Manly. We've been in a few different spots inside. We're on the pool table for a while there, until we found this spot. We've been here in this spot for a while. League heads, Luciano Leilua for the Dragons. Luminous AJ Brimson for the Titans. Game breakers, Blake Brayley for the Sharks. Luminous Murata Nakor for Warriors. Hey, golden treasure. It's about bloody time. Luminous Moses Leota for Panthers. Yes, so that's the third one we've opened and they've all been in breaks. Bang, Lachlan Galvin for the Bulldogs. Luminous Jermaine Hopgood for the Eels. Maybe Ryan's talking about it. He's manifested the Moses. Colour die cut, Connor Watson for the Roosters. Luminous for Storm. Who's got Eels? Craig Hyde. He would love you, Ryan. If you have manifested a Moses gold treasure for Craig, he would love you for a long time. Game breakers, Brian Top for Panthers. Luminous Mackenzie Wheel for the Cowboys. Alright, 3 packets left for the box. League head Keon Kolomatangi for the Rabbitohs. Luminous Jaden Sewer for the Dragons. Someone came in and asked if there was a golden treasure underneath one of them cards. You're a bit early. Colour die cut Sam Verrills for the Titans. Luminous Dylan Lucas for the Knights. League heads Harry Grant for the Storm. Luminous Lachlan Galvin for the Bulldogs. And that's the end of another box. Box number 9. Game breakers Yasmin Clydesdale for the Knights. Luminous Nelson Asafa Solomona for Storm. League heads Lindsay Smith for the Panthers. Luminous Alex Johnston for the Rabbitohs. Colour die cut Bradman Best for the Knights. Luminous Hamoli Olika Atu for Manly. Game breakers Nico Hines for the Sharks. Luminous Valami Kickout for the Bulldogs. Excuse me. Well, that's really picked me up now, that golden treasure. Let's go. Keen to find out. Isaac Tago, bang for Panthers. Luminous Apposite Coruscant for the Tigers. League heads Cody Nicarima for the Dolphins. Luminous Liam Martin for the Panthers. Colour die cut Egan Butcher for the Roosters. Luminous Scott Drinkwater for the Cowboys. League heads Alifiana Khan Piera for Titans. Luminous Dominic Young for the Knights. Game breakers Hammer for the Dolphins. Luminous Luca Moretti for the Eels. Oh, get her open. Bang Tamir Martin for the Warriors. Luminous James Fisher-Harris for the Warriors. League Heads Jacob Carraz for Bulldogs. Luminous Yasmin Clydesdale for the Knights. Colour die cut Damien Cook for the Dragons. Luminous Val Holmes for the Dragons. Game Breakers Sanoa Taruva for Tigers. Luminous Adam Dewey for the Tigers. Game Breakers Hamoli Olika-Atu for Manly. Luminous Big Tino for Titans. Mercury Dane Gagai for the Knights, number 108. Luminous Kale Iro for the Sharks. League Heads Gehamat Shabarsky for Broncos. Luminous Damien Cook for the Dragons. League Heads Jason Saab for Manly. Luminous Cody Nikarima for the Dolphins. League Heads Cameron Murray for the Rabbitohs. Luminous Lindsay Collins for the Roosters. Game Breakers Nelson Asafa Solomona for Storm. Luminous Jason Saab for Manly. Bang Joash for the Eels. League Heads Robert Toya for the Roosters. Luminous Gehamat Shabarsky for the Broncos. Colour die cut Jesse Arthurs for the Broncos. Luminous Jacob Preston for the Bulldogs. Mr. Luminous. Ryan Pappenhausen for the Storm. Red Triumph Hammer for the Dolphins. Luminous Reed Marnie for the Cowboys. Yeah, the trade's going to be redundant in a couple of years when PNG come in. We're good for Bears. That we've got the 18th spot, but when PNG come in, we're going to have to work out what we're going to do. Game Breakers Ezra Mam for the Broncos. Luminous Jeremiah Nanai for Cowboys. Bang, Isaiah Katoa for Dolphins. Luminous Keezy Apps for the Tigers. League heads, Roger Tuivasa Sheck for Warriors. Luminous Cody Walker for the Rabbitohs. Red Triumph, Roger Tuivasa Sheck for Warriors. Luminous Brighton Nakora for Sharks. Colour die cut Dry Arrow for the Rabbitohs. Luminous Kalen Ponga for the Knights. Game Breakers Max King for the Bulldogs. Luminous Lycan King Togia for Dragons. League heads Terrell May for the Tigers. Luminous Jai Grey for the Rabbitohs. League heads Renato Molitalo for the Sharks. Luminous Isaac Tago for Panthers. Bang Lycan King Togia for Dragons. Luminous Alifiana Khan Piera for Titans. Gladiators, Regan Campbell Gillard, number 393 for the Titans. Luminous Addo Carr for the Eels. League heads Jaden Sewer for the Dragons. Luminous Robert Toya for the Roosters. And 2 packs left for the box. Game Breakers Bree Chester for the Cowboys. Luminous Samima Torfa for the Raiders. Bang Robert Toya for the Roosters. Luminous Tamir Martin for the Warriors. Alright, let's get these ones out of the way. Alright. Box number 10. Bang Nico Hyde for the Sharks. Luminous Mackenzie Wheel for the Cowboys. League heads Jacob Carraz for the Bulldogs. Luminous Lachlan Galvin for the Bulldogs. Game breakers, Jareem Buller for the Tigers. Adam Reynolds, Luminous for the Broncos. Colour die cut, Jacob Saifiti for the Knights. Luminous, Hugo Savala for the Roosters. League heads, Fanua Pole for the Tigers. Luminous for Storm. Mercury, Jamin Salmon for the Bulldogs, number 364. Luminous, Brendan Smith for the Rabbitohs. Game breakers, Adam Reynolds for the Broncos. Luminous, Tamale for the Raiders. Bang, Chanel Harris Tavita for the Warriors. Luminous, Latrell Mitchell for the Rabbitohs. Oh, excuse me. League heads, Cody Walker for the Rabbitohs. Luminous, Emma Veron for the Sharks. Bang, Campbell Graham for the Rabbitohs. Luminous, Samula Finu for the Tigers. League heads, Brighton Nakora for the Sharks. Luminous, Ray Stone for the Dolphins. Colour die cut, Bailey Simonson for the Eels. Luminous, Stephen Crichton for the Bulldogs. Game breakers, Luca Moretti for the Eels. Luminous, Xavier Willison for the Broncos. League heads, Keanu Kinney for the Titans. Tommy Turbo for Manly. Game breakers, White for the Roosters. Luminous, Philip Sammy for the Titans. Gladiators, RTS for the Warriors, number 522. Luminous, Patrick Carrigan for the Broncos. League heads, Jaden Sewer for the Dragons. Luminous, Dane Gagai for the Knights. Game breakers, Kalen Ponga for the Knights. Luminous Dylan Lucas for the Knights. Colour die cut, Jaden Sewer for the Dragons. Luminous Connor Watson for the Roosters. League heads, Jackson Purdue for Cowboys. Luminous Fletcher Sharp for the Knights. Game breakers, Harry Grant for the Storm. Luminous Moses Sulite for the Dragons. Bang, Nathan Cleary for Panthers. Luminous Zahara Tamara for Raiders. League heads, Jake Trbojevic for Manly. Luminous Dylan Walker for the Eels. League heads, Sam Walker for the Roosters. Luminous Jaden Sewer for the Dragons. Die cut, Daniel Tupou for the Roosters. Luminous Brian To'o for Panthers. League heads, Reece Walsh for Broncos. Luminous Luke Lilly for Tigers. Game breakers, Saitili Tupanua for the Bulldogs. Luminous Lindsay Smith for Panthers. Game breakers, Jamie Chapman for the Titans. Luminous Murray Talagi for Cowboys. Bang, Matt Burton for the Bulldogs. Luminous Chanel Harris Tavita for the Warriors. Red Triumph, Keon Kolomatangi for the Rabbitohs. Luminous Blake Brayley for the Sharks. Red Triumph for Manly. Luminous Jack Bostock for the Dolphins. League heads, Dylan Walker for the Eels. Luminous Tui Kamika for the Storm. Bang, Nathan Cleary for Panthers. Luminous Jake Trbojevic for Manly. Three packets left for the box. Game breakers, Xavier Savage for the Raiders. Luminous Sean Kepi for the Rabbitohs. Colour die cut, Griffin Neem for the Cowboys. Luminous Tegan Berry for the Dragons. League heads, Fletcher Sharp for the Knights. Luminous White for the Roosters. And that is box number 10 done and dusted. Alright, box number 11. Triumph Hudson Young for the Raiders. Luminous Josh Kerr for the Dragons. Game breakers, Cameron Murray for the Rabbitohs. Luminous Sanua Taruva for the Tigers. So, league heads, Corey Horsburgh for the Raiders. Will Penasini, Luminous for the Eels. Game breakers, Cameron Munster for the Storm. Luminous Georgia Hale for the Titans. Bang Luke Brooks for Manly. Luminous Jonah Pezzett for Storm. Game breakers, William Kennedy for the Sharks. Luminous Matthew Tomoko for the Raiders. League heads, Nelson Asafa Solomona for Storm. Luminous Luke Metcalf for the Warriors. League heads, Blake Brayley for the Sharks. Luminous Sarah Togatuki for Tigers. Colour die cut, Ray Stone for the Dolphins. Luminous Connolly Lumilu for Dolphins. Bang Damien Cook for the Dragons. Luminous Savage for the Raiders. Game breakers, Kurt Mann for the Bulldogs. Luminous Samuel Stonestreet for the Sharks. Bang Asaya Iongi for the Eels. Tanila Paseka Luminous for Manly. League heads Patrick Carrigan for the Broncos. Luminous Sam Walker for the Roosters. Game breakers Olivia Higgins for the Knights. Luminous John Bateman for the Cowboys. League heads Ray Stone for the Dolphins. Luminous Isaiah Katoa for Dolphins. Red Triumph for the Cowboys. Luminous Jamin Salmon for the Bulldogs. Colour die cut Jackson Purdue for Cowboys. Luminous Cam Munster for Storm. League heads Marata Nakor for Warriors. Luminous Jacob Saifiti for the Knights. League heads Dominic Young for the Knights. Luminous Brian Kelly for the Titans. Game breakers Herbie Farmworth for the Dolphins. Luminous Bailey Simonson for the Eels. Bang Sebastian Chris for the Raiders. Luminous Jesse Southwell for the Knights. Colour die cut Braden Trindle for the Sharks. Luminous Luke Brooks for Manly. Gladiators Campbell Graham for the Rabbitohs. Number 126. Luminous Luciano Leilua for the Dragons. League heads Murray Talagi for Cowboys. Luminous Tony Staggs Broncos. Oh, sorry. Colour die cut Philip Semi for Titans. You go any hits? We have a golden treasure, mate. We have some hits. We just need to get there. Luminous Asaya Papali'i for Panthers. I am quite excited about the golden treasure. proof they're not only in 7-11 packs, guys. Game breakers, Billy Smith for the Roosters. Luminous Jacob Carraz for the Bulldogs. Bang Jack Bostock for Dolphins. Luminous Alex Seyfarth for the Tigers. League heads Jack Williams for the Eels. Luminous Loco Pacifici Tonga for the Dragons. We're almost finished this box. 12 minutes. And yeah, I don't know, about half an hour. I seem to spend a bit of time talking in this one. League heads Moses Sulai for the Dragons. Luminous Keon Kolomatangi for the Rabbitohs. Colour die cut Brian Totter for Panthers. Luminous Ali Leitua for the Warriors. League heads Isaiah Yo for Panthers. Luminous Jordan Ricky for the Broncos. Game breakers Ruben Cotter for the Cowboys. Luminous Zach Labert for the Cowboys. Bang Xavier Coates for Storm. Luminous Jessica Surgis for the Roosters. Game breakers James Fisher Harris for the Warriors. Luminous Mitchell Moses for the Eels. League heads Tommy Turbo for Manly. Luminous Harry Grant for Storm. And Mercury Alex Seyfarth for Tigers. Number 115. Luminous Ronaldo Mulatalo for Sharks. And that's another box done and dusted. Last box of the case. Box number 12. Colour die cut KO Weeks for the Raiders. Luminous Matt Burton for the Bulldogs. Red Triumph Kyle Flanagan for the Dragons. Luminous Jamie Chapman for Titans. Game breakers Adam Fanua Blake for the Sharks. Luminous Jerome Luai for Tigers. Red Triumph for the Panthers. Luminous Brighton Nakora for Sharks. Bang Ruben Garrick for Manly. Luminous Hudson Young for the Raiders. League heads Ruben Cotter for the Cowboys. Luminous Leka Halasima for the Warriors. Game breakers Valami Kickout for the Bulldogs. Luminous Hammer for Dolphins. League heads Zach Lomax for the Eels. Luminous Cohen Hess for the Cowboys. Game breakers Tegan Berry for the Dragons. Luminous Nico Hines for the Sharks. Gladiators Morgan Smithies for the Raiders, number 301. Luminous Lehe Hopper Wate for Manly. League heads Payne Huss for the Broncos. Luminous Cody Walker for Rabbitohs. League heads Regan Campbell Gillard for the Titans. Luminous Morgan Smithies for the Raiders. Game breakers Bo Fermor for the Titans. Luminous Dean Mariner for the Broncos. Colour die cut Jake Trbojevic for Manly. Luminous Isabel Kelly for the Roosters. League heads Fanua Pole for Tigers. Luminous Nelson Asafa Solomona for Storm. Bang Zach Lomax for the Eels. Luminous Alex Johnston for the Rabbitohs. Bang Clinton Gutherson for the Dragons. Luminous Isaac Tago for Panthers. Origin Predictor. League heads Wade Egan for the Warriors. Luminous Ryan Pappenhausen for Storm. Game breakers Asaya Katoa for Dolphins. Keezy Apps Luminous for the Tigers. Game breakers Morgan Smithies for the Raiders. Luminous Valami Kickout for the Bulldogs. League heads, Adam Fanua Blake for the Sharks. Luminous Apposai Coruscant for Tigers. League heads, Bradman Best for the Knights. Luminous Kalen Ponga for the Knights. Game Breakers, Appy Nichols for the Warriors. Luminous Lycan King Togia for the Dragons. Mercury Cameron Murray for the Rabbitohs, number 351. Luminous Liam Martin for the Panthers. Colour die cut Sam Walker for Roosters. Luminous Scott Drinkwater for Cowboys. League heads Angus Crichton for the Roosters. Luminous Luca Moretti for the Eels. Bang for Storm. Luminous Jeremiah Nanai for Cowboys. Game Breakers Joash for the Eels. Luminous James Fisher Harris for the Warriors. League heads Lachlan Galvin for the Bulldogs. Luminous Yasmin Clydesdale for the Knights. Bang Savage for the Raiders. Luminous Val Holmes for Dragons. League heads Ethan Bullymore for Manly. Luminous Big Tino for Titans. Colour die cut Charlie Staines for Tigers. Luminous Gehemat Shabarsky for Broncos. League heads Clinton Gutherson for the Dragons. Luminous Jacob Preston for the Bulldogs. Colour die cut Roger Tulvasa Shek for Warriors. Luminous Kale Arrow for Sharks. Game Breakers James Tedesco for the Roosters. Luminous Cody Nikarima for Dolphins. Alright, lucky last for our retail. Don't forget, we've got 2 hobby boxes. And bang, Herbie Farmworth for Dolphins and Luminous Jason Saab for Manly. Alright, let's push these out of the way. Get rid of that one. Get these out and get stuck into the first one. Mouthful left. Excuse me. Alright, so the first of 2 hobby boxes. Alright, first up, Jack Bostock in the gold, luminous number 32. For the Dolphins, gold die cut, Brighton Nakora. For the Sharks, number 113. Alright. Gold luminous Terrell May for the Tigers, number 464. Gold die cut Nick Meaney for the Storm, number 227. Gold luminous Jack Williams for the Eels, number 574. Gold gladiator Kurt Capewell for the Warriors, number 8. Oh, there we go. 8 out of 140. Luminous Stefano Utskamanu for the Storm, number 237. Luminous KO Weeks for the Raiders, number 287. Gold die cut Ruben Garrick for Manly, 155. Luminous Bo Fermor for Titans, number 57. And etched Apposite Coruscant for Tigers, number 85. Luminous Jason Tormalolo for the Cowboys, number 439. Gold die cut Dean Mariner for the Broncos, number 36. Luminous Alex Twile for the Tigers, number 388. And we have a predictor. But first, white for the Luminous, number 654. Let's grab a card. Luminous Lindsay Smith for the Panthers, number 588. And Mr. Lindsay Smith in the Gold Gladiators, 100, 100. Luminous Fletcher Sharp for the Knights. Luminous Xavier Willison for the Broncos, number 275. Gold die cut Mitchell Moses for the Eels, number 211. Sixth last packet in our first hobby box. Luminous Tommy Turbo for Manly, 329. Playmakers Connor Tracy for the Bulldogs, number 84. Luminous Latrell Mitchell for the Rabbitohs, number 538. Stephen Crichton in the etched for Bulldogs, number 5. Oh, nice low one. Kyle Hunt with the Bulldogs. Alright, 4 packets left for the box. Luminous Connor Tracy for the Bulldogs, 175. Luminous Roger Tuivasa-Sheck for the Warriors. Gold die cut Ethan Sanders for the Raiders. Luminous Tiana Penatoni Gray for the Sharks, number 445. And Sterling Mercury Isaiah Katoa for the Dolphins, number 45. Lights playing tricks on me. Couldn't read that one. And I really don't know how well that's going to show up, if at all, on camera. But there it was. Alright, lucky last for the box. Alright. Luminous Tegan Berry for the Dragons, 135. And etched Latrell Mitchell, number 108 for the Rabbitohs. Let's just push these out of the way a little bit. We'll sort them once we are done. Yes, if you didn't know, it does take a ridiculous amount of time to sort the base cards. Even the base cards in the hobby box, in the hobby cases and that. So for the hobby cases, each team will get a team set, but that is it. Luminous Jaden Sewer for the Dragons, number 643. Gold die cut Jake Averillo for the Dolphins, 106. Can we add to the table? Can we add to the table for our hits, guys? Fingers crossed. There's more to come. How lucky can we be? Dylan Lucas, Luminous for the Knights, 361. Etched, James Tedesco for the Roosters, number 76. I think we opened the jersey number in the etched for Teddy. I think that was one of the earlier breaks. Could be wrong. Luminous, Lachlan Galvin for the Bulldogs, number 225. Luminous, Adam Reynolds for the Broncos, number 439. Gold die cut, Eliza Katoa for the Storm, 158. A luminous Hugo Savala for Roosters. It's not good. There we go. Let's take it away from that. Luminous for Storm, number 343. Gold die cut, Jai Gray for the Rabbitohs, number 215. Luminous, Brendan Smith for the Rabbitohs, 128. Etched, Leka Halasima for the Warriors, number 26. Luminous, Tamale for the Raiders, number 108. Alright, Golden Gladiators, Jackson Perdue for Cowboys, number 1. There we go. And I'm assuming a few of us are noticing the alpha and the beta numbers. I'm pretty sure 1 is alpha. So we got the alpha. Emma Veron, Luminous for the Sharks, number 295. Luminous, Trent LaRoe for Storm, number 558. Lehe Hopawate, Playmakers for Manly, number 77. Luminous, Jamal Fogarty for Manly, number 441. Gold die cut for the Raiders, Ethan Strange, number 247. Luminous, AJ Brimson for the Titans, number 420. Etched, Eliza Katoa for the Storm, 176. Luminous Murata Nakor for the Warriors, number 195. Gold die cut Kalen Ponga for the Knights, number 93. Luminous Moses Leota for Panthers, number 193. Alright guys, we have 4 packets left. Luminous Jermaine Hopgood for the Eels, number 584. Mercury Sterling for Molly Olaka'atu for Manly, number 12. Not bad, not bad. Almost in the 10%. Few new names in this break that I don't recognise, so I hope you've done well, guys, and enjoyed joining us. Mackenzie Wheel, Luminous for the Cowboys, number 205. I've mentioned it a couple of times, but I hope you are all in the pick the score giveaway only in the Facebook group and join the tipping comp. It is free. Keanu Kinney, Gladiators for the Titans, 116. Two packets left for the break. Luminous Vanilla Pole for the Tigers. Excuse me, 564. Alright, lucky for last. Here we go. Can we add another one to the table to finish off? Not quite that lucky. Cameron McInnes, number 271 for the Sharks. And a gold die cut Robert Toya for the Roosters, number 169. Alright, here's what most people have been waiting for, and these are our big hits. Starting off with the ones out of the case, we're just going to go left to right in the order they've come out in. So here we are. First up, Dally M Predictor, number 206. Phoenix Crossland for the Knights, Kyle Burrows. Alright, next up. Our instant win. Who we got? Here we go. Congratulations. First, I don't know if this is your first break, mate, but it's the first one I recognise with us. Dolphins, Dan Mullins. Congratulations. Next up, Golden Triumph, number 14. Braden Trindle for the Sharks. Johnny D with the Sharks for this one. Number 14 up there in the corner. Looks like we've got Dally M next. Number 219. Now, this is a big one if he performs as well as everyone hopes. Mr. Reece Walsh for the Broncos. Johnny D with the Broncos as well. 219. What we got? Another Dally M 163 for the Roosters. Connor Watson. Don't forget these are all out of the retail case, guys. We've got a couple more. Dally M Rookie Predictor Signature number 50 for the Dolphins. Another one for Dan. Congratulations. Alright, mate, this is the last one out of the case. Yeah, right. Okay. Well, number 78. And just to continue on with the theme, beginner's luck, Dan Mullins with the Dolphins. Congratulations, Dan, on fire, mate. That's got to be beginner's luck right there, and we have seen that very present over the years. So congratulations. All right, next up, another one. Oh, we only got one out of the two hobbies. Okay, yep, that's right. State of Origin Predictor number 109. Trent LaRoe in Maroons. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's Storm. I'm confident he's Storm. So that'll go to Paul. And to finish us off, another Dally M Predictor. This time it is a Platinum. And they are a signature card. Number 14 for the Raiders. Ethan Strange. Who's that? Johnny D with the Raiders. So Johnny D did grab a couple extra spots in this one to help get it done so we could list the hobby case break. So yes, that's why he has a few. And you'll see his name in the hobby cases. Alright guys, thank you to everyone for being a part of it. I love having you in the chat with me saying hello. And don't forget to go and check out the Spot Raz, guys. If you're paying via bank deposit or PayPal friends and family, spots are only $5 each. And you have a chance to win 2 break spots, Titans and Dragons, as well as a bonus blaster box. The winner gets both spots and the blaster box sent together. So get amongst it and we can break that one tomorrow if it's sold out, guys.